To finally discover the truth, the real root issues to things that we have labeled as problems when really we've just been trying to fix the symptoms of our horses or our riding performance. I'm curious of those of you watching tonight, how many of you already feel better this week? Can you already feel relief? Do you already feel like, oh, thank God, it's not me? It's not my fault. I'm not lacking anything. Nothing's wrong. It is simply a need for more knowledge, more information. It's all higher education. That's what we're all about. So does anybody else, somebody read the comments for me. Anybody else feel better this week taking this comeback clinic?
Yes, so we have Rhonda and Leanna saying yes, and not sure what Kevin's saying, but that wouldn't be the first time.
I heard that the attunement class was rocking today.
So. It was. Rolade spells relief.
Rolade spells relief?
It says Roland's, not Rolades. That's why I didn't understand it.
Was it? Uh-oh.
I got to learn to speak Kevin.
And attunement spells relief.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love it. Well, we talked a lot last night about this new writing style called attunement. If you're watching on a different platform online and you want to be part of the Zoom so you can interact with us, go sign in right now for free at mycomebackclinic.com. We're talking about getting your mojo back, overcoming fear, overcoming past trauma, overcoming confusion, whatever you feel like has been holding you back, keeping you stalled, stuck in the same division. If you're a barrel racer like me, it's probably not what you think it is at all, which is why everything you've tried so far hasn't been able to stick. We're going to talk tonight about how quick fixes, we talked about that last night, how quick fixes don't last. We're going to talk about when we try to go fast, when you add speed and it all just goes to hell in a handbasket, for lack of better words, why that happens. So we're going to talk about adrenaline spikes, dopamine addiction. Did y'all even think about that? If you're already in Stall High classes, you know we talk about it a lot. But sometimes we can be addicted to a thing like barrel racing,
to the high
speed, to the thrill of it, to the adrenaline rush, even if our body is trying to scream alert signals, even if our horse is saying, hey, this is not fun for me. I don't want to do this. It does not feel right to me. Like something is lacking, something's missing here. I don't understand. Therefore, I'm getting real stressed out. And rather than trying to medicate and sedate or just numb them down with a bunch of drills and heavy equipment, we're learning how to support their central nervous system and their stride and their overall well-being, not just their physical health, not just their physical conditioning to go run for 16 or 17 seconds, but to love what they're doing and to be able to lengthen their career so we're not just burning through horses. So I'm curious, has anyone else on this call been through more horses than you care to count? One of our guests tonight is going to tell her story about how she just really has been in the sport for many years, and it just seemed like success was elusive. She would get close and it would slip right through her fingers. Who can relate to that? You also get to meet, if you haven't met him already, our lead stride coach of biomechanics, Michael Richardson. I heard your voice earlier. I'm so happy you're here. We're going to have fun.
Happy to be here.
So let's get right in. We're going to talk to Carrie Wilborn. And most riders right now who come to Stall High are barrel racers, but not all of them. We've got Mounted Patrol representation out in California with Jolene. We've got Kevin, you heard earlier, in Alabama. We've got a recent student and recent rider in attunement of dressage. We've got some people who only pleasure ride. So only for recreational and mental health purposes. So it's not just for barrel racing. You can learn how to ride this new way in attunement and regulate your own central nervous system, regulate your horse's emotions as well in any type of saddle. In fact, you don't even need a saddle. A lot of us practice learning how to ride in attunement bareback. So Carrie Wilburn, are you here? If so, I'm curious, what drew you to Stall High?
I
How
don't
about
see
her
her.
coach?
I see Don Wilburn, but I don't see Carrie.
Okay. How about her coach? Tina, did Tina make it tonight?
I don't see Tina either.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and play her footage. Michael, I want you to talk about Carrie. So she's a mounted shooter, and she's one of our success stories, learning how to ride in attunement. She has been paired with one of our certified coaches, Tina, and it's just amazing, Michael, how much you're teaching us that we can in turn teach others. So we're really on a path, and we're pioneering, a wider path for so many other riders to follow. I love how how Leanna said it on day one. She was like, we're not trying to add more followers. We're looking for new leaders. We're looking for people who are just as passionate as we are about bringing change to the horse industry and about not necessarily redefining horsemanship, but bringing it up, upgrading what we have labeled horsemanship or considered horsemanship for so many generations. We've actually missed quite a lot, Michael. And we didn't know that until we met you, quite frankly. You have a very unique life experience and a very unique way of seeing things. You had a show on RFD TV, which is now the Cowboy Channel, for many years called The Gift of the Horse. And you've been a clinician. You're world renowned for your talent and your gift of taking outlaws, burned up, reject, like fixing to go to the place we don't want horses to end up. Like you turned them around. You were the rescue agent for so many horses and so many riders who just really didn't understand the problem. So it's definitely our benefit to have you at Stall High as part of this program. Let's go ahead and look at her footage. Hi, I'm not able to see the screen, so if you could roll it for us. And I want Michael to watch it. Yes, we're the one where the mounted shooter is on horseback. So if you'll Tina's not here. So Michael, just kind of point out some things that you see that other people may be missing.
Oh, well, a couple things, when, pardon me, when we have a horse that will tuck, like how this horse right here wants to bring his muzzle in towards the vertical and then lift his head. And if you noticed, it just went away.
There we go.
If you notice, and I mean this with no disrespect, but if you notice the fact that the horse is gapping its mouth and it is trying to get away from, and I don't want to say it's the shooting, because they can learn how to deal and get along with that, but the fact that
good shot.
Yeah, that was a very good shot.
Oh, she is a great shot.
It was a very, I commend her. That's wonderful. But there's a couple things that if I could take this horse, we could take this horse. We would look at the bit. We would look at the tie down and try to help the horse try to help the horse be able to use its head and neck to start with. And the other thing is, because of how he is, what is being asked of him in this environment, he's very short. He's balled up. And if the other part is, and we've talked about this in stall high, is ride front part of the horse. That is a lot of what's manifested here a little bit. I'm just watching his footfall.
Oh, y'all get ready. It's fixed to get good in here tonight. Oh, let's turn you loose, Michael. What are you talking about? Football? Because barrel racers have never, we don't talk about that stuff. We talk about, well, what are you injecting these days?
Yeah.
We're way behind the 8 ball.
Again, form the function in how he's being ridden and what's being asked of him. But outside of this environment, we would like to see him be able to use himself better, because he's kind of brings his muzzle into the vertical and sometimes past the vertical. He's locking up through his atlas and axis, which is causing him to gap his mouth. And then he's short and hollow through his back because he's not able to really use his head and neck. So he's compromising through his back. And again, and we can expound a lot on this, the back is like a suspension bridge. And if they're not able to come through from the hindquarters, that bridge is being pushed down, and it's not allowed to come up. And that is due to the fact that she's riding the front end of the horse. And the fact not able to use his head and neck, like we said, as an aid to balance, an aid to impulsion. I don't think I said that, but that's what we're looking at, is an aid to balance and impulsion. And therefore, he's not going to be able to use his SI and have that energy coming through from the hindquarters. So ultimately, he's going to be sore through his SI, and he's going to be sore through his hind legs, because you see how he's using those hind legs. He's not having the ability to really have the flexion through the hocks and allowing those hind legs to come further forward underneath him to support the horse and come forward. So there's a lot of things that we're seeing here.
Yes.
And great shot. I hope that she comes and
she's already in attunement.
Oh, very
so
good.
I was hoping she would be here to share the after results, because I hear her story is just incredible.
Well, that's beautiful, because I'd love to see
I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
Ty, you don't have an after video, do you? Okay. If you can look it up for us, let us know. So Michael, I have a little confession.
All right.
Sherry McKenzie was here yesterday. That's good, Ty. You can stop playing that one. The wind was so fierce. It was just trying to knock us down and spit on us yesterday. And it was cold.
It was cold.
And
it was amazing.
Yeah, I hopped on my horse. We had kind of a decision to make, because I entered a rodeo maybe a little prematurely, and I needed to know whether I needed to leave this afternoon and run in the morning or whether I was going to stay home. And so I've been in the process of learning attunement, finding out where the disconnects are within my central nervous system, within my body, my tissue, my fascia, like how things are firing. Is the communication actually getting from my toes all the way up through all the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments, the joints, to my brain and back again smoothly and as fast as I think? Well, no, I had no idea. I've been thinking it was a, lack of horsepower for so long, or, something else. I thought it was spiritual warfare. Well, Sherry was here yesterday, and we used our little biomechanic measuring device. So this is a little tool that we put underneath the horse. It attaches to the cinch, and we collect data. So when we tell you, like, we are nerding out. We're like horse nerds, learning new things every day to help us steward our horses even better and to bring our horsemanship up. This is one piece of technology that we use at Stall High. And Sherry, you really called me up because I felt centered. Michael, I thought I was in the middle. Like I felt balanced. I felt like I was in attunement. I felt like my mare was traveling comfortably. But the data, the dashboard said I was off. Sherry, can you remember what some of my numbers were yesterday?
Yeah, I think we started about 5 to the front. So you're riding heavy to the front. And Michael, I was telling her, I said, not your shoulders, because I feel like your shoulders are in a good position. So we got to
Yes.
dig deeper.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Any guesses on what it was, y'all? And you said something earlier that made me think of this, Michael. So just because we can be wholeheartedly convinced that we are correct, that we are right, it could be our central nervous system out of whack. Like we could have lost our baseline. Your body learns to compensatory patterns to make up for the weakness or the deficit or the lack of information flowing somewhere. And it can either happen quickly or it can happen over time. And then you just get used to it and you don't even know it's happening. And I don't want anyone to get like stay stuck or confused thinking it's a horse issue or you need to buy a more expensive feed or you need to find out about this magic pill or powder or paste or whatever. Leanna says it so beautifully. Nothing can replace the way in which we ride. And if the way we sit a horse ain't jiving with them, and if it disrupts them, if it irritates them, like we've got an industry full of horses that are agitated. They're confused. Their central nervous system is shot. They're in that just constant boil, like trying to get away from the pressure. And we have falsely just kind of blown that off as, oh, they're just hot. They're just on the muscle. They just love to do their job. No, they don't. They love us more times than not.
Yes.
They're having to endure the discomfort and the stress and the trauma of what we're doing to them. Not that we're doing it on purpose. We're doing it because of lack of education, lack of knowing. Guess what it was, y'all? And Michael, I once again owe you an apology. So I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to admit this. Sherry, you want to tell them?
Sir, it was the position of her feet.
There's my feet, y'all.
Yeah, that's
Something I have prided myself on. Had my foot position, you know, I would have defended toe to toe with anyone. Like that has helped me make so many 1D horses, some that have gone on to win pro money, gotten me to the top 15, helped me ride secure and stable. And I think the very first thing you ever tried to teach me, Michael, was about my feet, and I didn't listen to you.
Well, you weren't ready at the time.
I wasn't. I was pretty cocky. And turns out if I had embraced this sooner, that was 2 years ago, going on 3, because I'm about to start my 3rd summer in attunement. I was so convinced that I was right that I missed a lot of opportunity to improve faster. I missed that window. Think of how much further I could be now if I'd listened to you. I needed the data to stare me in the face. And as Sherry and I were trying to figure it out, like my hips feel dang good because we did our muscle work yesterday and things are like waking up and my cerebral spinal fluid's pumping and my glutes are firing. And that when we finally got to the bottom of it and I changed my feet, which changed everything, Michael. When I changed my feet, boom, these muscles right here came alive and they had to work. And then my obliques had to work and then my glutes had to work. So 1, 2, 3 large muscle groups. I looked at Sherry and I was like, if it is what I think it is, we're in trouble. This is work. This is so much more work than my style, my comfort style. So even though my signature style has served me very well, I've made a living with it for 20 years, 20 plus years. It's time to elevate. I'm capable of more, and I don't want to ride unaware any longer. I really don't. I'm fascinated with the learning process. Rhonda Fowler, are you with us tonight?
Well, while she's unmuting, I do have to say, Michael, the first thing that she said as soon as we identified it as man, I owe Michael a huge apology.
Yeah.
No,
I'm going to call
no,
that device the humble pie device.
no, not at
Both
all.
eating our words.
It all comes in time, and it's all good. It's just, this is a journey, and we find things out, and we kind of plant little seeds, and then we see how it evolves, and that's how God works. I mean, so it's a beautiful thing that through all of this and this journey that we're on, and the use of the this device,
Yes.
it's helping us, reinforces things that we may have thought, helps clarify other things, and it helps at the end of the day. It helps our horses, and it helps us be able to be better partners with them, and
Yes.
that's worth everything.
And my foot placement in the stirrup was correct, but you tried to tell me that where I was placing my stirrup was incorrect, or not incorrect. I could improve.
Could have been better.
And I noticed even before we looked at the data, the dashboard, when I changed and my muscle groups lit up, I was like, I think this is fixing to be better, Sherry. I think we nailed it, because prophecy just went.
Yeah, totally.
She lowered her head even more.
Isn't that beautiful?
And yeah, it was a beautiful moment. And just to realize this is what she has been trying to tell me. Yes, we are much better than I ever thought I would be with that gray mare, because she's a dash to fame, and I historically, it's a combat zone. I don't get along with that breed at all. I find them to be very argumentative and very fast, very athletic, but not conducive with my signature style. I like rate. I like horses that can run fast and rate even faster. So it's been an interesting journey, and you're always so kind, not to put us down for what we didn't know, but to call us up. So you're a heck of a leader, and we enjoy the opportunity to see through your eyes. Rhonda, are you here? Rhonda Fowler?
She is. Do you know how to
This
unmute,
is
Rhonda?
so Rhonda, I was in Belton a couple of months ago. I entered Slack in Belton, Texas, and I was at a rodeo, and I was out walking my dogs when we got there, and it was late at night, and I'm watching everybody's horse work, and I'm listening to your story. I love that you have come into our program, because you're another one of those riders with so much experience in the sport of barrel racing. You really validate what we're doing. So, Rhonda, how long have you been a competitive barrel racer?
I don't see that she's unmuted yet. Do you see the microphone on your screen, Rhonda? You click on that. I've also sent you a message to unmute.
Oh, I hope we can get her audio fixed. So she tells stories. If y'all haven't watched her horse work, go look her up, Rhonda Fowler, in our private online group, our online clinic group. So she talks about the struggles, like getting so close, but not close enough, going and thinking it was a horse problem, go buy another horse. She did everything everyone else is saying to do. So
She's
how many
unmuted.
of you feel like that? Rhonda, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, how long have you been running barrels?
About 26 years.
And what part of the country are you from?
the middle of the country. I live in the middle of Arkansas. So
And
I
tell me-
compete Arkansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Texas.
So tell me, why did you come to Stall High? What was your biggest problem? Were you, like a lot of us, at the brink of hanging up your spurs and calling it quits?
I just felt like I was spinning my wheels, and I had some time that I was down off my horse because
Mhm.
I was going through radiation and chemo, so I had time to check into the phone or the computer or whatever.
Mhm.
So, I'm one of those, I've been to a lot of clinics. Anything, I always think you can learn something somewhere. But I've never had a clinic that I've attended that I learned as much as I have in some of even the free comeback clinics.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that fascinating how, like, so many people are still dragging their heels, dragging their boots in the dirt? I'm not going to learn anything with my horse by watching online. You want to bet you're going to get left in the dust if you hang on to that old false belief.
Oh,
It's amazing how much we
a
learn.
world of difference in my horse. I mean, it's literally gone from needing 3 people to help me get him down the alley
Mhm.
to, hey, don't worry about it. I got this.
That's so good.
And instead of having to put him in a stall between sessions,
Mhm.
the other day I was just sitting out there in the arena, and he's just standing there over me yawning, and we're petting him, and it has made a world of difference in my horse.
That's so fun. And it's so cool to see that we can be that change for them. When we know
Oh, yeah.
what to change, they let us know really quick. Even those stoic horses that are real standoffish, or horses that are too busy, like too in your pocket, that's also a sign of a dysregulated central nervous system. And I didn't know that. I didn't know how to help them. Do you have a video for her, Ty? Okay, I want to see what we're watching, and Rhonda, just kind of talk us through. What are we looking at right here?
This one was at the very beginning.
Okay.
I pulled my cast off of my foot long enough to get a ride for you. But
Mhm.
then Kelly went through it with me on Review My Ride, had me
Mhm.
open up my elbows, move my feet forward, and straighten up my posture in the back.
Mhm. Mhm. And what happened?
Oh, then later, everything is going so much better. And later with, because I had Tina for a coach then.
Uh-huh.
This is the same horse, but she's so much more relaxed.
Yes.
She
Look at
still
that.
wants to go to her buddies, but it's a different, there's not a fight there.
But you look different. People would say
Well,
that's not the
I'm
same
not
rider. Do
having to
y'all agree?
fight.
How many of you are tired of fighting? You feel like every time you go to ride your horse, not even to compete, but you just go ride your horse and enjoy owning a horse, it's a freaking fight. Well, that'll suck the fun out of any ride. Hi, if you'll replay that first one. Michael, I want you to talk about the differences you see in the rider. Michael,
Oh,
can you hear?
the stability from this video to
Mhm.
the second one. Now, give you a ton of credit for taking the cast off to ride and
Yeah.
to get this video.
Those videos were a week apart.
No way.
No.
Yes, they
That's so
were a
good.
week apart.
Well,
From that to
Look at that.
that I'm still pulling the cast off my boot. It is a week apart.
Wow.
So
Well,
what's different, Michael? What do you see in the second video?
well, the right here, he looks so much more, or she
The man. Yes.
looks so much more regulated. She's using her head and neck. She doesn't want to pop up. Now, granted, you're walking, which is great. You can see the shoulders are freer. She's wanting to bring her hind legs underneath her so much better than she did in the first video. The her ears, her expression is softer. Now, what's this video?
Now this one, this was a run before Stall High. Is that right?
No, this is a
This is
run.
recently?
This is the run at the end of my attunement.
What?
Understand that's the first time that horse has ever run in an arena. She's 4 years old. And I had never gotten her out of a walk before. She'd just come home from the trainer, and we thought, what? Let's try it. So as you see me going out the alley and my saddle falls off, you know.
Yeah, your saddle is loose. Yeah.
Good save there.
So Rhonda, that's good. Ty, what has this done for your confidence?
Oh, miles and miles and miles. And I feel so much better. And I'm not looking at the calendar dreading going to a barrel run because it had got to the point that I just absolutely dreaded it. But I know I had to go because the granddaughters want to go. The daughter wants to go. It's kind of expected. But I am the last few runs, I had fun. Last few weeks, I really had fun going.
That's great. What would you tell other riders who may think Stall High can't help them, or this can't possibly be all that big a deal? Like I see a lot of people stuck thinking, like I did, I know how to ride. Hell, I've been riding for 40, 50 years. What are they missing if they don't grab on to this new style of riding?
Give it a chance, because I promise you, I've ridden with some top riders, and when I first started, some of the things that Kelly told me to do seemed so strange. I mean, I've been in the clinic where they actually gave you rubber bands to keep your hands down by the saddle horn. Whereas Kelly said, put them up on her neck. I've been in clinics where they tell you to pull all the way to the pocket with your fist.
Yes.
And again, you know, you showed us with the mechanical horse once, what that was doing to their mouth.
Yes.
It's different, totally different. But after watching my horses and understand, my older horse will go in the arena now. And I thought it was totally done. Yeah. And these two young ones that you're seeing in these videos are taking to it.
And you haven't been in the program.
So much more than the investment.
Well, thank you for saying that. That was going to be my next question. But you haven't been in the program for very long, have you?
I've done maybe 3 comeback clinics, and I did the 21 days of attunement. I did Leanna's comeback clinic when she did it a few weeks ago.
Yes.
So I've probably got,
if I'm correct, less than 2 months. Is that right?
Yes, altogether, yes.
Yes, less than 2 months. And how many years had you tried to fix the problem before you came to Stall High?
Over 20.
Come on.
Well, I can't say that. I really didn't realize there was a problem to the last 5 years.
Whoa, that's good. That's good stuff. Can y'all relate? Anybody, you feel like Rhonda is reading your mail and telling your story?
I mean, I went several years there and never hit a barrel. I went 132 runs once straight and got a check every run. But then it just started going away.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how much my body needed to learn to quit trying to just power through it.
Yeah. Excellent. Michael, I want to talk before we end tonight about when we try to go fast without properly understanding the mechanics.
Yep.
The damage we are doing to our horse's spine, their crucial joints, their mind, the footfall. Like when we ride the way most of us have been taught to ride, and when I say most, I mean 99.99% of us, it's really just pounding their hooves in the ground, and it's causing so much force upon impact to every joint and our own. Like I don't want to have to live on ibuprofen. I don't want to be stove up.
Yep. Yep.
So this new style that you created with Leanna Ray, called Attunement, what was the need that you saw, and how did you figure out this new style of riding?
Well, a lot of conversation with Leanna. We looked at different horses, and we noticed the way that they currently were moving, and then what could we do to enhance that movement, and started at Liberty. And so talking back and forth about what I was seeing, and then her perspective and chiming in regard to the nervous system, and making little changes of how we presented it and the impact on the nervous system. And then carrying that through to meeting you and being able to now take, putting a rider into this. And she and I had worked under saddle as well, but coming forward to kind of fast tracking it to when we met you, we realized that there was a way to take what we were talking about. And at that point, she hadn't really come up with a name, and it fits. It's amazing. We realized that there was a need, and through Stall High in this community, that we could be able to share this. And we started with you, and the changes that the horses were making and you were making. It really allowed us to find that the horses were staying in a higher level of awareness. Their mental state was better. Their personalities were better. And we started then to see how the movement started to change, and allowing the horses to be able to, move in such a way that they're loading the legs as they are moving, locomotion in traveling and in their gaits, and loading these legs in such a way that we know if they can do that, they're going to have less chance. Not to say that there's not a time that they might not have some joint issues, but less chance of joint issues, tears of the ligaments, the tendons, because of short striding and lack of ability to be able to carry themselves in a manner that's going to be supportive, where they have the self-carriage, being able to come underneath them themselves with their hindquarters, their SI, and allowing that energy to come forward, and then the ability to use their head and neck as an aid to balance and impulsion. And more often, go ahead.
We've had several riders come back with their literal vet reports that their horses went from, more than mild, I would say moderate to severe, needing injections at least 2 times a year. Now they don't have to do that.
Isn't that
No
awesome?
more special shoes, no more expensive modified shoes. Just because the way we're learning how to ride in attunement.
In attunement. Yep. And it's beautiful to hear those stories, because that's what we're seeing. And for the longest time, people said, well, that's a novelty. People can't take that to the performance realm and have sustainability. Absolutely, we are. And have the sustainability. But yes, answer is yes, they can. And yes, we can. And that comes down to what we're doing with how we're helping them move, and being in it is such a huge part of that. And it's a beautiful thing to see, and then to hear stories, follow-ups of people that are excelling and really taking this and having great success with it. It warms my heart. I tell you what, I've been doing this a long time, and to be able to do this in this community is it's a blessing.
It's a gift. Now you're bringing the gift of horse to us every day. So if you're new and you're just trying to figure out what you clicked into, we have live coaching classes going on Monday through Thursday at Stall High. We do these things like the comeback clinic and the half-second faster challenge and the winning look just as a sample, so that you can come in and see what we're all about, and you can start to meet some of our riders here, be a part of this community to see if this is something that interests you. If it is, we're looking to make new leaders. If you want to hear your name called new leader, you have just found a new way to do that. Takes a lot less time. You will not burn through a ton of horses like I have done. And it's a much more sustainable way of riding and pursuing if you're like me, barrel racing dreams. So Michael, before we end, the risk, the damage of the addiction to speed or the peer pressure. Sometimes it's not just friends. It could be a well-meaning parent or spouse just not really understanding the intricacies and the biomechanics and the needs of the horse, just saying, well, you bought him. You've been doing this for 17 years or 27 years. Just go faster, hustle, kick, check, lift, kick, check, lift. What is the damage that's really being done when we override the horse's central nervous system, when we try to go fast before their central nervous system is regulated?
Well, you're just burning the horse up. You're causing them to react as opposed to respond, and you're not. Your runs are limited. Your safety is being compromised, both the horse and the human, because there's a point that the horse is going to say, "You're not treating me like this anymore," and we've all seen those things, and for sure heard those stories. The horse looks for that out, and it's there, and they're going to take it, and at the cost. And when we override their nervous system, and we don't give them a place to go of comfort, of support, of gratitude for everything that they're providing for us, then we're taking a risk. And it is we've all seen it, and it's a shame, because those horses want to try. And the beautiful part about the horse is they tell you when they get it, and they tell you when you don't understand. And what we're seeing here at Stall High is the ability to start to understand and to communicate in a much, much higher level. And we're seeing our horse just rise to the occasion. And absolutely beautiful. And horse and rider, and we've got to bring the rider into it as well. But we're seeing this rise, and it's beautiful. And stories like we heard tonight, I mean, my goodness, in a week, come on.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
But if you
no sedation, no hours of drills, it's just so refreshing. We do this either on the ground, just standing with your horse, or like Michael mentioned, at liberty. Some people might hear that and think, oh, I already know how to do that. Not Michael Richardson's way. So the way you and Leanna teach us, when you use the word at liberty, some other people will call it foundation work or fundamental work. You go so much higher, like stall higher. You're in another galaxy compared to most clinicians and horse trainers, professional horse trainers. Not trying to take anything away from them. I'm just saying you know more about this than anyone I've ever listened to. So you teach us about the energy flowing between the horse and us on the ground, and how to oscillate that energy.
Yes.
Well, what is energy? Don't let that word freak you out. You're spending money on it. It's horsepower. It's results. It's communication. It's speed. It's whatever it is you want. It is your successful result. You got to have energy to do that. So you're teaching us how to communicate without even touching our horse, by regulating our central nervous system and making sure that we're not stuck in a little tiny survival part of our brain, using both sides of our brain, left brain, right brain, making sure we are grounded. And then when we get back on the horse, you teach us how to oscillate the energy this way.
Right.
So through us and the horse, and that's when we learn how to ride in attunement, which is with the flow of your horse's natural range of motion, their natural stride, the way God built them and the way God made you. But if you were riding in a traditional or a modern day popular barrel saddle, I'll tell you right now, it is holding your hips static.
Oh yeah.
It will compress your lower back.
Yep.
And it will prevent your hips from actually rolling forward. It'll hold them forward, but you'll start to develop an anterior pelvic tilt. And once your fascia like holds on to that and thinks that is truth, that is accurate, and that's where you just need to be, when that becomes your default, reprogramming that takes some doing. And that's what's happening at Stall High. And that's part of how we're getting results. We now have riders at the pro level. We have riders climbing up from the 5D to the 4D, 3D, 2D, 1D. And I've never experienced anything like it. All, credit to you, your leadership, and Leanna's and her expertise in neuroscience. It's fascinating to get to ride every day. Like Rhonda, I didn't dread going to the barn, but it was a job.
Yep.
That's what I did for a lot of years. And it was like a factory. Horses in my program got the benefit of consistency and a routine, but they didn't get the benefit of a real personal interaction, of experiencing one person. They didn't get a lot of my time because it was my business and I had to pay the bills.
Yep.
So I would roll through anywhere from 7 to 20 head of horses a day, depending on how full the barn was, and try to rodeo at the same time, and try to run, like train, market, meet buyers, sell horses, and somewhere along, like still be a mom, still be a wife, still try to keep my sanity. That didn't work too well. and launch a 501c3. So it's just been very refreshing that you and Leanna have come into our lives, and that you're gracious enough to share what you've learned and are developing. And it's an honor to be here and to learn attunement. How many of you can testify you have been in attunement 101, 201, or 301? Drop it in the comments. I want to talk about today's offer for those of you who are curious. You can talk to one of our professional advisors for free. Text us 940-291-9090 to find out if this is for you. Look at the bottom of the screen. There's the number. Text us. We have an amazing group of professional advisors and certified coaches who are here to help you with your particular horse. You don't have to just hope it's going to work anymore. You don't have to ride their guts out. You don't have to do that anymore. You can know consistently, and it can become fun again. So those of you who want to join Attunement, Today, Thursday, this is your last opportunity to join the second tier of attunement that comes with 2 live coaching calls per week. So in the next 21 days, okay, when you come into our program, you get not only immediate access into our digital clinic library so that you can start learning how to move your hips. That's where it starts. You hear Michael talking about the football. He's going to teach you about their feet. He's going to start teaching you how to load the correct leg. Barrel racers have never been taught this before, Michael. We just want to speed their feet up. We've never been encouraged to lengthen their stride or improve their balance until you and Leanna started educating us at a much higher level. So you get immediate access into that digital clinic library. You come to 2 live coaching calls a week. You get a Review My Ride where you send in your video. So that comes with live coaching. Today only, this ends at midnight. When you join Attunement 101, we will upgrade you to private coaching for free. So you're going to save $2,000 right off the bat. Everyone watching this call in the Zoom, if you have taken attunement, was it worth it? Did you get more than you paid for? Drop it in the comments. Somebody read the comments to me. Just so you don't think we're here to try to sell something. We're here to change the history of horsemanship. We're looking for new leaders who are passionate to be an advocate for the horse, not by buying more products, but by investing in ourselves and learning how to be our horse's best advocate and our best upgrade. I'm not saying that buying fancy trailers and shavings and wonderful boots and pain relief products aren't good and admirable. But if you're riding in a way that's causing the pain and you don't know it yet, that all that money is for naught. All the effort is for naught. You're shooting yourself in the boot. And when you see it that way from a financial aspect, it's a real eye opener. It's like smelling salt under the nose. You will come out of that state real quick and you'll stop following the crowd. So we're doing something brand new here. And if you feel like I am speaking to you and you are ready for a change, we're looking for passionate riders who want to do what's right. Best can be argued, can it not? What is right? What is true? We have the data with measurable results. So this is not just opinion. We use technology to measure our horse's stride, their balance, their heart rate. You can look at these videos and see the difference it makes in them. They lower their head. They become calm. Their eyes get soft. They start to lick and chew and yawn and release, not because we're massaging them. Well, I guess we kind of are, because the way we learn how to ride an attunement feels like a massage to them. Michael, thank you for being here. Rhonda, thank you for speaking up on behalf of the program as well. This is, for those of you who want to join, there is a link. You see that QR code at the top of the screen? That will take you straight to our sign-up page where you can sign up. You will get immediate access, so you can start getting immediate results with your horse. You can see what attunement is all about. And I want you to do us a favor. I want everyone to go tell 3 friends. Can y'all do that? Go get 3 friends, 3 riders who you know are on the struggle bus, and they're just burning money, and they're spinning their wheels. They've been in the same division. If they're a barrel racer, they've been in the same D for far too long. Don't let them quit. There is a new way to come back, and you don't have to gut it out anymore. It's so much easier when you understand your own central nervous system and the biomechanics behind a successful ride. It's so much easier than anybody's ever led us to believe. We're still living in a state of a flawed system. As far as we've come in the last 20 years with taking care of our horse's physical condition, their mental health has been grossly neglected. So that's what we're going to address. And it starts with understanding their brain, their brain to body connection, the cerebral spinal fluid, and how to ride in such a way that you support the flow of it, the fluidity of their spinal fluid, so that they have naturally regulated emotions, a healthier overall body. So less vet bills, less risk of injury for yourself and your horse, and far more return on your investment of your horse and your time. And I'm going to take it even so far as to say it's a new level of reward and fulfillment that all of us, I believe it's safe to say all of us, Michael, when we
Yep.
learn attunement, we did not know this was possible. Doesn't matter. We've got a lot of very experienced, very skilled horsemen in our group. It's not just beginners, y'all. Very skilled, straight up hands. We did not know this was possible because we've never been taught it until now. So, Michael, thank you for what you and Leanna continue to do, developing the attunement program and allowing us to be part of it.
Well, it's an honor to be involved, and to work with you and Leanna, it's just even icing on the cake.
Well, if you feel like you're being called up and called in, welcome aboard. Welcome to the Attunement Revolution. Get in touch with us, 940-291-9090, or click that link. And I will see you tomorrow for the grand finale of the Comeback Clinic.
So Kendra,
Well, have a great night.
One comment from, and we can all guess who it's from. It's Holy Flamin' Hot Fries. Attunement is worth
Kevin.
it. I hope to see you in there. Thanks, Kevin.